All right. Everybody I know in the professional space has asked me to make this video. If you want to be a professional game master, professional dungeon master, this video is going to talk to you about how to schedule effectively so you can actually meet players who eventually could become long-term clients. And I've used this process personally to work with over 3,000 players. And in our network, we've done this to work with over 7,000 clients over the last few years. So let's talk about it. If you want to be a professional game master, the hardest thing to do is to actually meet players. And I'm assuming you know how to create an event, you have a way to list your sessions, and you can share that with people, or you have some type of social media channel. If you don't know how to do that, I'll link some videos below so you have some ideas. But this video is going to tell you how I was able to schedule and actually meet people. So here's what I have done, and I have done this continuously for the last several years. And it starts with this. One-shot events are a great chance for you as a game master to meet new players. And what I see many game masters who come into this space do is they say, I'm going to put one event up, and then they see that it doesn't fill or it doesn't get interest, and they get very discouraged. It's important for us to get over that. We can move past it. Here's what's worked for me. I schedule 10 to 15 one-time events per month. Typically, they're an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours long. And many of these events, they're like very similar adventures. Sometimes it's the same adventure, because when players are coming to meet you for the first time, they're trying to see what you're all about. They want to gauge your personal style and if the event is actually right for them. It's not necessary that every single one-time event you run have an entirely different plot. That's where I see all the professional game masters I know get stuck and be unable to proceed and grow. So I have three to four adventures that I typically run, 3 to 4 events that I typically run, and that allows me to focus on scheduling aggressively by picking out typically 3 to 5 times a week that I'm consistently available and flooding my schedule with one-time offerings. And the reason I do this is I'm not going to run every single one of those. And that's because people have really varied schedules. Typically what happens each month is I run 2 to 4 of those one-time events, but most likely I'll meet 10 to 15 players. And look, I have done this for professional role-playing games. I have done this for professional education. I have done this for professional business building workshops. So this process works across industries. This is not something that just works for professional role-playing games. It's a tested process. So we're scheduling out 10 to 15 one-time experiences. We know that we're going to run probably 2 to 4 of them, and we're not going to get discouraged if players don't sign up for every single event. The thing to focus on is when we do get someone at our table, it's a chance, it's a paid sales call. And I know that people in the gaming space don't like that term, but that's what it is. It's a chance for people who are actually paying you money for your time to show them how awesome you are at running stories, and they get a sense of how things can go. It's your job to crush it and do an amazing job. And I'll provide all kinds of resources to help you figure out how to do that. But let's talk about the next thing. So I do this consistently every single month, and that's how my business continues to grow. It can do the same thing for you. And if you're trying to get started after you've run, say, 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 one-time sessions, you're most likely, if you're doing a good job, going to have players say, I would love to do a campaign. The biggest challenge in the role-playing space is how to get everybody on the same page with a campaign game. It's in terms of the schedule. It's always the challenge. But here's what I've noticed. Once players get to know me and they like my style, or any of the game masters that work for RPG Club, once they know and like your style, they're more willing to adjust their schedule to find a time that works for them and for you. And that will allow you to schedule ongoing campaign games. Typically, campaign games go really well during time slots that a lot of people are available, weekday evenings, and most of the time during the weekend. Typically 12 to 6 p.m. on the weekend, people are available. And during weekdays, usually after work, before bedtime, people like to play. So I always keep in mind that Saturday at 1 p.m. is a great time for me to run an ongoing campaign. So I don't tend to schedule one-shots in that time. I'll flood the schedule with all sorts of one-shots to garner interest and see if I can find people that are a good fit for my style, and vice versa. And then I'll say, hey, I'm running an ongoing campaign. Wants to express interest, and we discuss it at Saturday, 1 p.m. or Friday or Monday or whatever at 7 p.m. And if they're interested, most likely they'll say, that sounds great. Also, you can try it the other way and say, what time works for you? Especially if you have 3 or 4 players that are interested, possibly they know each other. You can say, what time works for you? And then design your schedule to connect with them. And here's one of the critical things. If you want to be a professional game master, it's not about you. It's not about necessarily your schedule. It's not about having the perfect fit for everything you want to do. It's about meeting the players where they're at. So 10 to 15 one-shots on the schedule per month. Most likely you'll run 2 to 4 of those one-shots. Do that every month. That's going to allow you to meet probably anywhere between 8 to 15 people a month. Those people, many of them will say, hey, I'd like to do an ongoing campaign game, so long as you do a good job. And that's where you can probably convert 4 to 5 of those players per month into ongoing campaign games, which take place typically, at least with RPG Club, once a week. And that is going to create two things. It'll create what's called a sales funnel for your business, where people can come in and get to know you. And as long as you continue that process, that funnel will stay open. That's very important if you're entering this as a business person in the professional game mastering space. And then it'll allow you to convert those positive relationships into what's called recurring revenue by people signing up for your games and continuing to play. And that will allow you to continue to offer more games and devote more time and energy to being a professional game master and telling amazing stories with all sorts of players. So that's the base strategy. And the important part with all of this is not that it's overly complicated. It's that one just keeps doing it over and over and over and over again. It's not about finding some secret sauce. That's the secret sauce. That's, if you know a better idea, I'd love to hear it below. Let me know what you think in the comments. A couple bonus ideas. We found that a classic fantasy is very, very popular. So when you're scheduling campaign games, after you have your one-shots going and you're putting out events in the for follow-up players, we found that classic fantasy style events are always very popular. Anything with a dragon, anything with a dungeon, anything with lots of combat and lots of magic, always very popular. Sometimes heist adventures are also very popular. Lots of people are very inspired by this genre that they see in popular media. And so that is something that many people will come together on and play. So the pro tip on this is, if you're looking to schedule things that are popular, that people like, sticking in that classic fantasy is going to probably be better than finding niche, more subgenres that get really specific, because not everyone that you're looking to play with is going to be there. You might only have a few people that are interested in playing those events, and that could leave you feeling frustrated. So that was it. If you have some questions, let me know below. I'm going to put some links below as well to give you extra video ideas on how to be a pro GM in terms of some of the structures, and then how to market yourself. We have a marketing strategy that I'm happy to share with everybody in terms of doing it ethically, so it doesn't feel gross and icky. If you're interested in working and doing this and need a place to build your business, RPG Club is a fantastic place it's a professional game master business building platform, and we'd love to work with you. The link is in our bio. And my name is Adam Scott. I'm the designer. I'm the creator. I'm glad you're here, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.